Hey Yolanda, are you there? Because you and I need to have a serious talk. I mean, did you really expect me to eat that trash you packed for my lunch? Especially after how awful last night's dinner was? How about you try putting in even a modicum of effort when you cook next time, huh?
Excuse me? Are you serious, Eric? How about you thank me for even packing your lunch for you? Honestly, if you're just going to be like this, then you can just buy your lunch from the office. Because I am not going to get up extra early to cook for you if you're going to be like this.
Oh, please. You might have a point if your cooking was even worth the effort you put into it. Today's is just especially bad. What is even the point of packing my lunch if you're just filling it with a bunch of reheated crap from the freezer? The least that you could do is try to add a little variety in there, don't you think?
Eric, you were the one who set our budget for groceries. I'm only working with the parameters that you've set for me. But as long as we're on this subject, how about we talk about your drinking? Don't you think that you're spending just a bit too much there?
And what's wrong if I want to use the money I earn from my job on a drink now and then?
Because it isn't now and then, and you know that we are barely making it with the budget that we have now. We really have to be careful about where we're spending our money. We've talked about this.
So you're really gonna tell me, the only one of us with a real job, that I need to cut back on my spending?
I'm just saying that I think you have a tendency to overspend when you go out is all.
I really can't believe that you're coming after me after all the work I've done for this family. Am I seriously not even allowed to indulge myself now and then?
Of course you are. I'm not trying to tell you that you aren't allowed to relax now and then. I'm just asking that you're a bit more conscious of your spending is all.
You're making such a big deal out of this. There's no way that I'm even spending that much. Why are you doing this right now?
Look, Eric, I am just telling you that at this rate, we aren't able to put enough aside to be able to save up money. I mean, what are we going to do if there's some kind of emergency or something like that? If living within our budget is really that difficult for you, then we'll just have to find a way to bring in more money.
I'll have you know that my job gives me a raise every single year. Are you really telling me that that isn't enough?
Well, maybe I could just ask your mom if she wouldn't mind if I went out and found at least a part-time job so I could contribute a little. And if I did that, then I could buy nice food to pack for your lunches.
No, that isn't going to happen. I know my mom would rather have you at home. After all, we haven't even been married a year. You can't just go out and find a job so suddenly.
Okay then, if you really don't want me to have a job, then I need you to cooperate with me on this a little more, okay? Because I'm doing all I can at home to make sure that we're within our budget. I haven't even bought any clothes for myself in 6 months.
And just why on earth would a housewife like you even need new clothes, huh? Who are you planning to dress up for?
I'm not dressing up for anyone, but I am saying that if I don't need new clothes, then maybe you don't either. Surely you'd be fine with the suit that you always wear to work, right?
Well then, what am I supposed to wear on my days off then, huh?
Well, it isn't like you have no clothes right now. You could just wear what you have, right?
Wait a second. I see what's going on here. You keep going on and on about how we're supposed to be saving money. But really, you just don't want me to be buying anything for myself. Isn't that right?
Of course not. I'm saying that we both have to make sure that we're doing our best to stay within our budget. And you know how grateful I am for all the work you do to support us all.
Well, if you were really grateful, then you would try even harder to cut down on the budget at home. Because the way you're talking, you're making it sound like I'm going around buying fur coats for myself. Maybe you should check yourself before pointing the finger at others.
But I'm already doing everything that I could possibly be doing to try and save money. All I'm asking is that you cut back your spending a little bit. Is that really so much?
And I'm telling you that I'm sure that you're not doing enough. For example, do you have the AC on right now?
The AC? Well, yes, I do have it on, actually.
Well, there you go. Turn it off right now.
Eric, come on. You can't be serious, right? It's summer and we're in the middle of a heat wave.
Do you think people 100 years ago had AC and that they could use it on days like these? Of course not. And yet somehow they survived and managed to get through their days. You're just spoiled with all the comforts of home that you get to enjoy while I'm at work.
But Eric, the news is always talking about how the heat waves are getting worse and worse every single year.
They're all just babies who are too used to having things like AC and heaters. They don't even know how to live in our world anymore. Besides, if it's really that hot, then you would probably have the AC turn out pretty high, don't you? You think that's free? The reason we weren't able to save any money is because of how much you're using appliances like that.
Eric, you don't really think that, do you? Are you really telling me to stay in the house with no AC?
I'm only giving you advice on how to save money, since you're complaining about how you can't think of what else you can do. Besides, you're just a housewife. It's not like you're even doing enough to build up a sweat or anything. Just crack some windows and it'll be fine.
Eric, I really think that you're being unreasonable right now. You can't be serious about this.
I have had just about enough if you're whining. I've told you what you need to do. Now, do it. Then that is something you can start with. And if that isn't enough, then I'll think of other ways too.
But it's so humid outside. Opening the windows is only going to let the humidity get inside the house.
Okay then. Keep the windows closed then. Are you really gonna complain about all these options I'm giving you? If you really got hot, just go outside and stand inside some store until you cool down.
Hey, Eric, can you talk right now? I was just wondering where you are right now.
I'm out eating with some friends if you must know.
Well, you have to get back home right now, please.
Are you kidding me? Are you really trying to order me around on my day off? I can't believe you sometimes, Yolanda.
No, it's a real emergency. I just got back home from the grocery store and, well, someone has completely removed our AC unit. Did you do this? Please tell me this wasn't you.
Of course it was me. I know you were still using it. So I had to take things into my own hands.
Eric, please. It's almost 100 degrees outside, and if I don't open the windows, then the house becomes a sweat lodge.
I just don't get why you think you deserve to have any AC when you don't even have a job. You really ought to be thankful that you have it so easy as a housewife.
Please, Eric, it's like you're trying to punish me for something that I didn't even do.
Something you didn't do? You broke your promise to me, didn't you? I told you that I didn't want you using it, and you still did. And now you have the nerve to try and order me around while I'm out with my friends? You really are an annoying woman, do you know that?
But I was going to make us all dinner. You didn't even tell me that you had plans to go out at all. And I know that if I put these leftovers in your lunchbox that you'll just get upset with me. So it's basically just a waste of food, but I really am trying to do all we can to save money.
Good. You should keep doing that. Just quit asking me for help. You're an adult. Figure this out by yourself.
Eric, you are going to put our AC unit back in place when you get home, because this is not the way that we should be trying to save money.
You wish. I had to watch a video on how to even get that thing out there in the first place. I don't know how to put it back, and I know that you certainly don't either.
Well, then what are we going to do? You're really just going to keep our house like this?
I guess that means you'll probably have to call someone to reinstall it, huh? But wait, you can't do that because it'll cost too much money, and we're trying to save, right?
I don't even know what to say to you right now. I mean, you do realize that you're going to be hot in our house as well, right?
Oh, that's fine. I'm really only ever in the house when I sleep or wake up. Otherwise, I'm in my cool office for the rest of it. I can't stand a little heat if it means making sure that you don't get to use the AC at all.
Eric, I didn't want to mention this to you, but I've actually been feeling quite ill the past few days.
Oh, it's probably just a cold or allergies or something. Maybe some heat will help you, actually. You can just sweat off whatever this is.
Please, Eric, I really haven't felt good all day, and it's only getting worse.
Man, you're really annoying. I mean, is there any other housewife in the world as needy as you are? You complain about every single little thing.
And just what does this have to do with me being a housewife, huh? You do realize that I actually have a lot I need to do every day.
Oh please, you just need to pack my lunch and make dinner. Besides that, you probably just sit on the couch all day watching your soap operas.
You really think that's all I do? You don't realize that I also clean the house, keep the garden looking tidy, dust off everything, and much more? Besides, I may be a housewife, but that doesn't make me a maid. You could stand to do more around the house too, you know.
Here we go again. You and I have already talked about this, and I have told you the answer is no. Now look, I am trying to enjoy some quality time with the boys, and all this nagging is ruining my mood. So why don't you leave me alone, and go back to all that hard work, cleaning the house that you've been always going on about. Just remember that I warned you not to use the AC and you were the one that disobeyed me. If you're so mad about what I did, you only have yourself to blame. I heard that it's supposed to be well over 100 degrees outside today. How's it going being inside the house with all that?
What is the matter with you? Don't you realize what you've done? You really are an idiot. Do you know that?
Excuse me? What did you just call me? Just who do you think you're talking to, huh? You really need to learn your place, you know that? You're nothing but a useless housewife who needs to quit acting so uppity. I don't care how hot it is, you better not be using any kind of power to cool yourself down.
Well then why don't you go and tell your office to shut off your AC, huh?
Oh, you must think you're really clever coming up with that one, huh? Or are you just trying to get me mad? I'm going to make sure that you don't get to use a single cent on yourself ever again. You idiot! It's because you've been treating your wife like this that she's ended up in the hospital. You really thought that she caught a cold in the middle of a summer like this? She was suffering from heat stroke. Wait, what? What is going on here? Is this not Yolanda? Just who are you? And why are you using my wife's cell phone, huh? Who am I? I'm your boss, Eric. It's me, Zach Henderson. Wait, Zach? I don't understand. What's going on here? Is this supposed to be some kind of joke or something like that? Why are you on my wife's phone? Hold on a second. This whole thing is just ridiculous. Yolanda, I know it's you. You're nothing but a filthy liar, do you know that? It isn't a lie. It's really me, Eric. I'm actually in the house right next to yours because my aunt owns it. Hold on. So, this is all really real? For the last time. Yes, it's really real. I happened to come over to my aunt's house for lunch, and I happened to see your wife stumble out of your house. She was covered in sweat, shivering, and looked as if she was about to pass out. You're kidding me. She really looked like that? That's right. And just where are you right now? Because I know you're not at the office right now. If you were, then you would have already found out that I was in the hospital with your wife right now. Right, well, I had some things that I needed to do, and so I stepped out for the day. Well, you should know that it was your wife who asked me to reach out to you and message you on her phone. But I have to say that I'm just shocked at what you yourself admitted to. I mean, how could you remove your own AC unit in your house? Not only that, but your wife told me that she found a hidden fan that you kept when you would go to sleep in the other room. How could you do this to your own wife? You're just awful. No, wait. You don't understand, Zach. This is just all part of a little spousal spat between us. Nothing else. I really didn't mean to bring you into this. I'm so sorry my wife tried to suck you into this. I am not the one you should be apologizing to right now, Eric. You're right. Please tell my wife how sorry I am that this went this far. By the way, which hospital is she in right now? No, your wife doesn't want you to know where she is or for you to come and visit her. She only asked that I text you for her. Wait, she doesn't want me to visit her? Well then what is it that she wants to say to me? Well, she wants me to let you know that she wants a divorce. Hold on a second. You can't be serious about that, right? I'm afraid that she's very serious. She is sick of living under such a selfish man with so little regard for his own wife's well-being. But, you mean... I'm sorry, Zach. Can you please just let me talk to my wife right now? I know that she's sick and she really doesn't know what she's saying at all. Oh, give me a break. This is all your fault, and you know it. You know, I have friends who live in Alaska, and even up there they have to have their AC on. You're just crazy if you think that humans can survive in a heat like this. You're right, sir. I shouldn't have done this. It was all a mistake. It's no wonder your wife wants to leave you. Wait, boss, please. Can you at least tell me where my wife is right now? Your wife told me that she doesn't want you coming anywhere near here. But you should know that even before I text you, your own mom reached out and asked me if she could come visit. Your wife said it was okay, and when your mom got here, she was begging for Yolanda's forgiveness after all that you did. As for you, I want you back in the office now. I will be waiting in meeting room number 4. But what is going on there? Is there a meeting today that I didn't know about? Didn't you hear? The AC is broken in that room. It's the hottest room in the whole office. And now it will be all yours to use. Yolanda, please. Just how long is it going to be until you come back home? Surely you must be feeling better now, right? I said I'm sorry, didn't I? Shouldn't that be enough? You aren't really going to divorce me, are you?
Of course we're still getting divorced, but don't worry. I'll come over sometime this week to collect my things.
Yolanda, you really actually responded to me. Please. You have to know how sorry I am for everything.
I really don't want to hear it, Eric. Just sign the divorce papers and let's get this over with.
You're really serious about this, aren't you? You really want to just end it all. Was it really that bad being with me?
Of course it was. And now I just don't see any point at all in staying with you for another day.
Please don't say that. You have to know that I realized what I did was wrong. Not only that, but my boss has been forcing me to work in the only room in the building without AC. It is literally a sauna. It's got a window that lets sunlight in for almost the entire day. I have to bring a towel to work just so that I don't end up in a complete mess.
Well, I am glad that at least it sounds like you're getting a taste of your own medicine. But if you think that's going to change my mind, then you have got another thing coming. At least now you realize what it was that you were putting me through this whole time. I just hope that you know now that you can't treat people the way that you were treating me. You literally destroyed part of your house just to make a petty point.
I know, but I didn't think that you were going to have to go to the hospital for this.
Have you even been watching the news? This summer is so bad that there's been cases of heat stroke happening all over the city.
I'm sorry. I really had no idea. I didn't think it would affect you like that.
Well, I complained to you about it again and again, didn't I? And yet you refused to listen to a word I said. You just told me to stay inside the hot house and not use any electricity while you went out to be with your friends. I mean, what kind of husband doesn't let his own wife use the AC? How messed up is that? You really think that I enjoy keeping the house clean and doing all of the cooking? You're only just now starting to understand what you've put me through?
I know, but now I do understand. I swear. I mean, it's just so hot. I can barely even concentrate on my work. And I just assumed that you had it easy staying at home all day. I guess I got a little bit jealous over what I was picturing in my head.
And now you realize that's it. The whole thing was always just in your head, and I never had it as easy as you thought I did. Besides, I wanted to be out there working. I wanted to be helping us earn money, but you were the one who told me that I wasn't allowed to.
But I really wanted you to look after my mom. Surely you would have preferred staying at home with her over working, right?
Of course not. I told you over and over again that I wanted to be in an office working.
But this is my mom we're talking about. What was I supposed to do about her if you weren't gonna be there to look after her?
You think that she can't take care of herself? She's not even that old. But if you were really that worried, then you could have let me go to work and hired a nurse or something. You know that we wouldn't be having as many money problems as we are now if you had just let me go out and work like I wanted to in the first place. But no, I was kind enough to hold my tongue for as long as I could and do what you told me to because I thought it would be easier. And you just took that as permission to dump all of the work of taking care of your mom on me. And anytime I asked for your help or for you to take my side, you treated me like I was asking for the world. Well, I am not going to let you boss me around anymore. I am the one who knows what's best for me, and I am going to put as much distance as I can between you and your mom. Eric tried to drag the divorce process out for as long as he could, but I already know how to be patient enough to wait him out. Not to mention the fact that he was being seen as liable for my heat stroke. In the end, he knew that he had no other choice but to sign. After the divorce, however, rumors began to fly around his work about what had happened. I heard that he was only able to last a few more months there before all the rumors and whispering drove him to quit his job. Then I heard that Eric began to put all of the blame for his divorce and losing his job on his mom. He said that if she didn't insist I stayed home, that none of this would have happened. As for me, I took the alimony money and used it to move far, far away from Eric and his mom. I found an apartment for myself and have already started at a new job.
Hey Selena, are you there? I wanted to talk to you about Julie's wedding. You see, I think I'd actually like you to stay home and take care of things while I go. In fact, I'm actually going to be going with my ex-wife.
Excuse me? What in the world are you talking about?
Well, it's just that she's Julie's real mom and you're not. I just think it would be better if her and I went and you stayed home.
But, you can't just ask me to do this out of nowhere. Besides, that woman might be Julie's biological mother, but I am her parent. I've been raising that girl for the past 20 years that we've been together. You can't just tell me that you're going to be giving my seat to your ex.
I don't know what else you want me to say. I was talking to Ruth and she said that she really wants to be there. And ever since Julie announced that she was getting married, Ruth has been even more vocal about being there at the wedding. And I think it would be pretty awkward if we try to give both you a space there, don't you think? So please, can you just stay at home that day?
How can you even suggest something like that? Why should I have to stay at home? If anyone should be missing from Julie's wedding day, it's Ruth. Are you forgetting that after she gave birth, she abandoned you with Julie? And after that, you're just going to let her waltz into the wedding and pretend to be a mother again?
Okay, now hold on just a second. I really don't think that you're being fair to Ruth at all. I mean, like it or not, she did carry and give birth to Julie. And I think that means we owe her at least a little bit of our respect, don't you?
No, actually, I do not think that we owe her even a single ounce of respect.
Selena, please. I really think that you're being unreasonable. Yes, you might have raised Julie for basically all her life. But are you really going to tell me that that's worth more than being someone's actual biological parent? Think of it this way. The whole reason you were able to raise Julie in the first place is because Ruth did what she did. So in a way, you kind of owe her, don't you think? I know that you think you dedicated the last 20 years of your life to Julie, but don't let that get you carried away.
Carried away? Are you kidding me right now, Richard? Why are you even defending Ruth right now? I remember that when you and I first got together, all you would ever do is complain about Ruth.
Well, that was then and this is now. And the fact of the matter is that I think that Ruth deserves to see her daughter get married. Just like any parent should for their children. She even wrote a letter for Julie that she wants to give to her on her wedding day. She was crying when she was telling me about her plan to give it to her.
You're still not telling me how you can just forgive her for all of this.
I know that Ruth wronged Julie and I. She betrayed us, and I get that. But I think that she's really changed her ways. She called me the moment she heard that Julie was getting married, and I could hear the tears in her voice. She's not the same woman that she used to be. I know it.
Hold on just a second here. Why is she calling you so often about this? Have you two been meeting in person?
Well, after she called me, I did ask her out to lunch just because it had been so long. And then lately, we've been going out drinking too.
Excuse me? When were you going to tell me any of this?
I wasn't really thinking about it. All I could think about was how much prettier Ruth has gotten over the years. So now we've been keeping in contact mostly to coordinate stuff about the wedding. But did you know that Ruth still isn't remarried? I guess she just never got over leaving Julie and I. That's how I know that she really meant what she was telling me.
I don't get it, Richard. Are you telling me that after all this time, you've rediscovered feelings for your ex-wife?
I'm just glad that you said it so that I wouldn't have to. But it's true. My heart has already decided. So I think it would be best if we just ended our marriage now so that I could get back together with Ruth and put our family back together. But don't worry, I'll never forget all the good times that we had together.
I don't believe what I'm hearing. How could you do this to me?
Well, I'm just thinking that this would be best for Julie. Besides, Ruth promised not to cheat on me anymore and that she would be loyal for the rest of her life. I think the timing of this is all a sign that this is the right thing to do. That's why we're going to get married and have a second chance at our life.
I don't even know what to say to you right now. You've been secretly going out with your ex-wife? Then you tell me that I should give up my seat to Ruth for Julie's wedding. And now you're telling me that you want a divorce so that you can marry Ruth again? Do you have any idea just how much of an idiot you're being?
I really am sorry for where this leaves you, Selena, but even Julie thinks that Ruth and I should get back together. She said, I hope you two have a nice life when I told her about it. So you see, she's really happy for the two of us.
I don't believe it. Did Julie really tell you two to have a nice life?
Of course she did. You don't think that she's happy to be getting her real mom back after all these years? And what's more, to have both of them at her wedding watching her proudly? Honestly, if that isn't enough to make you agree to all of this, then I don't know what to say.
Are you kidding me right now?
Look, I'm in love with Ruth, and we're getting back together. She is going to be at Julie's wedding and not you, so don't bother showing up.
Okay, fine then.
Oh, and by the way, I have some divorce papers that we should sign once I'm back home.
Oh, trust me, we couldn't get divorced fast enough to make me happy. I dedicated the last 2 decades of my life to you and Julie. I can't believe that you both betray me like this, but if this is what you want, then don't let me stand in your way.
Thank you so much for your understanding. I knew that you would if we just talked this out.
Hey, Julie, I just want to let you know that your father and I are getting a divorce. I'm very sad that I won't be at your wedding, but I really do wish you all the joy and happiness in the world. I also transferred some money to your bank account as a little wedding present. I hope you have a wonderful life, Julie. Wait, what? Mom, what are you talking about? You and Dad are getting a divorce? What's going on? Did something happen? Did the two of you get into a fight or something like that? What do you mean, Julie? Your dad told me that you were already informed about this. Don't you know that he's getting back together with Ruth, your birth mother? That's why he and I are breaking up. He's doing what? This is the first that I'm hearing about any of this at all. Wait, really? Are you sure? Your dad told me that he had talked to you about this. He told me that you were very supportive of him getting back together with Ruth. He said that I was supporting him getting back together with Ruth? When did this happen? Did he really think that I'd ever approve of this? Mom, I have no idea what's going on here at all, but I want you to know that it isn't how like you're saying at all. I'm confused then. What is going on? Well, Dad actually called me not that long ago to talk about his plans after I get married. He told me that he was going to be selling the house and moving into a condo with Mom. Then he asked me what I thought of that, and I told him that it was a great idea and that I wish you two all the best. But that whole time, he only used the word Mom. So obviously I assumed that he was talking about the two of you. He never mentioned Ruth even once. I see. But then what does this mean? What is even going on? Are you telling me you had no idea that your dad was getting back together with Ruth? Well, I guess that means you don't know that she's planning on being at your wedding too, right? Excuse me? She better not be. Is that why you wouldn't be coming to my wedding? Because my dad was trying to replace you with her? your dad was telling me that I guess Ruth has some letter she wrote that she's been wanting to give you. I don't even want to even see the envelope that's holding that letter. Why would I want anything to do with a woman that cheated on my dad and left us? I can't believe that he would want anything to do with her either. I don't know. I guess he said that she's really changed over the years. He said that she's only gotten prettier with time. I guess he just fell back in love with her. After all, Ruth was your father's first love, you know. Even so, if my dad is letting a woman like Ruth fool him, then he's just being stupid. You're the only mom I need. You were the woman who raised me for the past 20 years. How could Dad ever think I'd want otherwise? Oh, Julie, thank you so much for saying all of that. It makes me feel so much better. Well, just know that I'm going to do something about this, so you have nothing to worry about, and you will be getting an invitation when I have the dates down. You are going to be the only mom at my wedding.
Selena, are you there? Please, you have to take me back. Let's get married again. I've signed my portion of the wedding certificate, so now I just need your signature.
What in the world are you talking about? What happened to you and Ruth?
We're not going to be getting married anymore. She ran away from me right before we were supposed to sign the marriage papers.
She ran away? What does that even mean?
I don't know. I think that she was cheating on me again. How could I ever have believed her? Actually, I know that she was cheating on me because I caught her texting several other men.
Was she really?
That's right. Not only that, but she was talking to someone slated to take over his family's company. I guess when she found that out, she figured to cut her losses with me.
I see. So basically you're saying that your actions have finally come around to bite you.
Please, I never should have divorced you. I was fooled by Ruth's crocodile tears, but they were all just lies. You have to forgive me for this. I was fooled. Can't you see that? I'm a victim here too.
Are you seriously trying to call yourself a victim in this?
Now, I understand why you might be mad about this, but I really hope you can see how I'm not to blame for this at all. You're not actually going to let 20 years of being together go to waste, are you? Let's just go home and be a family again. We can even go as a couple to Julie's wedding. What do you think?
I think that you're a bit late for that, since we're in the middle of the wedding now.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that the wedding is going on right now, and I'm here as Julie's mother. Even the rest of your family is here. Everyone but you, that is.
I don't get it. What's going on here? What do you mean the wedding is going on right now? Julie's wedding isn't supposed to be today?
Oh, I'm afraid it is. I'm here looking at how beautiful Julie looks in her wedding dress. Everyone here is crying tears of joy, just so happy to see her.
Wait, but this can't be right. I haven't heard of Julie setting a date for a wedding. I haven't even gotten an invitation. Are you telling me that Julie is getting married and she didn't even invite me?
I wonder if that might have something to do with you not being her dad at all?
What is that supposed to mean? Of course I'm her father. She's my daughter. She's my flesh and blood.
You still don't get it, do you? Family is so much more than genetics. I thought you would have figured that out by now. Does the fact that Julie calls me mom mean nothing to you?
What are you getting out?
And in that same vein, she doesn't think of you as her father one bit. In the past 20 years, you've barely been a parent to her at all.
Oh no, this is really bad. I have to get a hold of Julie right away. This can't be happening. I'm her father. There's no way that I'm gonna miss my daughter's wedding. Maybe she just forgot to send me one. There's no way that she wouldn't invite me to something as big as this.
I'm sorry, but you'll have to do all of this later. We're all in the middle of her wedding. If you bothered her about this, it would only ruin her day, so why can't you just give her this day?
But that would mean missing my own daughter's wedding. This can't be happening. I have to get there right now.
Do you even know where the wedding is happening? Look, I really don't have time for this. I'm here to enjoy Julie's wedding. So just accept that Julie has decided on her own who her parents are. Hey, Mom. I just wanted to thank you again so much for today. I was really nervous, but seeing you there for me was a huge help. And thank you so much for inviting me to your beautiful wedding. I was just touched the whole time. And I promise to always treasure this letter you've written me. It was all beautiful. I'm really glad that you liked it, Mom. Anyways, my friends and I are going to be going out soon, so I guess we'll talk later, right? Sorry, just one more thing before you go. I really recommend you turn off your phone before going out. I just know that your dad is going to try and get a hold of you to talk about all of this. Oh, trust me, I've noticed. He's been blowing up my phone for hours now. I guess it sounds like things didn't work out so well with him and Ruth, right? He even told me that you told him you didn't want to marry him even though he offered. Well, of course I wouldn't want to marry a man like him again after all of this. And I don't blame you. I even told Dad as much. In fact, I told him that after today, I'd never ever talk to him again. You mean you're just going to cut your dad out of your life? Of course. He's hardly been a parent to me, especially compared to you. And I wouldn't want the man who treated you the way he did in my life any longer. Well, I guess that means that your dad really is going to be all alone after this. You know, I've been thinking about this for a while, and I can't even come up with a good memory I have with Dad. And of course, I'm sorry that he was cheated on by Ruth, but I think he was always using that as an excuse for his behavior. And I know that because of that, he made your life much more difficult when it came to being married and raising me. But even before he married you, life wasn't easy for me with him anyways. Wait, really? You mean that even before I came, your dad wasn't doing a good job of raising you? He would always have my hair cut so short, and when I asked him why, it's because he said if I had it any longer, it reminded him too much of Ruth. And he was always picking out clothes that he said Mom would never wear that I should. He basically tried to control my life because he hadn't gotten over what Ruth did to him. I see. Well, I don't think I had any idea of that at all. And I guess even 20 years later, he still wasn't over her. I would have thought that having a new family would have meant that he'd moved on, but I guess not. Really, he was just waiting for Ruth to come back into his life so he could drop everything and be with her. Julie, I'm so sorry for all that you've had to go through, even when you were little before I met you. But you did so much for me. You let me get whatever haircut I wanted and helped me figure out my own sense of fashion. You treated me the way a real parent should. And now I know that you're the only real parent that I've ever had. So I hope that I've been half as good the daughter to you as you've been the mother to me. Oh, sweetie, well, I don't know what to say, except of course, you're my family and you always will be. I love you, Mom, so much. But my friends are asking when we're going to be leaving for the after party, so I think I really do have to go now. We'll talk soon, though, and thanks again for everything. After that, I heard through the grapevine that Richard went through with his plan to sell the house. Of course, now he had no one to move in with. Ultimately, he ended up going to live with his parents, but that didn't last long as they realized housing Richard would mean not seeing Julie anymore. They told Richard that he had screwed up his family, but that he shouldn't try and screw up theirs. Richard was only allowed to stay with them for a week before being asked to move out. Even after he moved out, his parents were still giving him flack about letting things with Julie deteriorate to the point that she wouldn't even invite him to her wedding. After that, I heard he moved to a new town and is trying to start a whole new life where nobody knows him. As for Ruth, it turns out her new man was nothing but a fraud, and that his business collapsed not long after their marriage. I hear that Ruth is still with this man, trapped by the debt and scared to leave. Julie enjoyed the rest of her wedding night and even went on a lovely honeymoon trip with her new husband. The whole time she was there, she was sending me lots of pictures and messages. I told her not to forget to enjoy her trip while she was on it. While she was away, I moved into an apartment by myself. When she returned, Julie came to visit me and we had a belated housewarming party. She told me all about her trip and we didn't say a word about her father.